there are more trees on Earth than stars in our galaxy, which sounds like something a kindergarten teacher would make up to make kids feel better about pollution. You look up at the night sky and see thousands of twinkling stars stretching into infinity. Then you look around and see a few trees in your yard. But here's the mind-blowing part. Earth actually crushes the Milky Way in a straight numbers competition. We've got about 3 trillion trees down here, while our entire galaxy only has around 100 to 400 billion stars. That's like David beating Goliath, except David is a tiny blue planet and Goliath is a massive cosmic spiral of starlight. Let's be honest, when you think about space, your brain basically explodes with the concept of infinite. You're standing outside on a clear night, looking up at this dome of stars that goes on forever in every direction. It's like the universe decided to show off by bedazzling the entire sky with billions of glittering diamonds. Our galaxy alone is 100,000 light years across. That's so big that if you could travel at the speed of light, the fastest thing in the universe, it would still take you 100,000 years just to cross from one side to the other. And the Milky Way is just one galaxy among billions of other galaxies. It's like discovering your neighborhood has billions of other neighborhoods, each with their own billions of houses. Every single point of light you see up there represents a massive ball of nuclear fire, most of them bigger than our sun. Some stars are so huge that if you put them where our sun is, they would swallow up everything out to Mars. We're talking about objects so massive they bend space and time around them just by existing. Scientists estimate our galaxy contains somewhere between 100 billion to 400 billion stars. That's more stars in our galaxy alone than there are people who have ever lived on Earth, by a factor of thousands. And most of these stars probably have planets orbiting them, creating even more mind-boggling numbers. When you think about it logically, stars have been forming for over 13 billion years. That's billions of years of stellar nurseries churning out new suns, countless generations of stars being born, living their lives, and dying in spectacular explosions that seed space with materials for even more stars. It's like the ultimate cosmic assembly line that's been running since almost the beginning of time itself. Meanwhile, what does Earth have? Some trees, scattered around on land masses that cover less than 30% of the planet's surface. Trees that are made of wood and leaves, that grow a few feet per year if they're lucky, and that barely reach a couple 100 feet tall on their best day. Trees that didn't even exist for most of Earth's history. They only showed up about 385 million years ago, which is basically yesterday in cosmic terms. It's like comparing grains of sand on a beach to the number of hairs on your head. The beach should win by an astronomical margin. Space is vast, Earth is tiny, and trees are just there. But here's where the universe gets weird. The scale difference seems so ridiculous that for most of human history, nobody even bothered counting trees. Why would you? It's like counting raindrops during a storm when you could be measuring oceans. Ancient astronomers spent thousands of years mapping stars, creating constellations, tracking planetary movements. They built entire civilizations around understanding the cosmos. The Babylonians catalogued star positions 4,000 years ago. The Greeks calculated the size of Earth and the distance to the moon using nothing but shadows and geometry. Meanwhile, trees were just background scenery. Something you chopped down when you needed firewood or got in your way when you wanted to build a city. Even modern astronomy reinforces this cosmic superiority complex. We've got space telescopes that can see galaxies billions of light years away, each containing hundreds of billions of stars. The Hubble Space Telescope showed us that what we thought was empty space is actually packed with more galaxies than we ever imagined. Every deep space photo reveals thousands more points of light, each one a star system potentially hosting multiple planets. The James Webb Space Telescope is now showing us stars being born in stellar nurseries, massive cosmic events happening on scales so large They make Earth look like a speck of dust. We're discovering that some galaxies contain over 1 trillion stars. That's 1,000 billion stars in a single galaxy, and there are billions of galaxies. When astronomers point their telescopes at any random patch of seemingly empty sky and take a long exposure, they find hundreds of galaxies hiding in that tiny space. It's like looking through a keyhole and discovering an entire city on the other side. The universe keeps revealing more and more stars wherever we look. So when you do the math, the universe contains something like 10 to the 24th power stars. That's a 1 followed by 24 zeros. It's a number so big that human brains can't really process it. Meanwhile, Earth is one planet orbiting one ordinary star in the outer suburbs of one average galaxy. Our sun isn't even particularly impressive by galactic standards. It's what astronomers politely call a yellow dwarf, basically the cosmic equivalent of being called medium-sized on a dating profile. There are stars out there that are hundreds of times more massive, billions of times brighter, and some that are so dense that a teaspoon of their material would weigh as much as a mountain. But here's the plot twist that changes everything. In 2015, scientists at Yale University decided to actually count Earth's trees for the first time using satellite imagery, on-the-ground surveys, and computer modeling. What they found blew everyone's minds, including their own. Earth has approximately 3.04 trillion trees. Not million, not billion, trillion. That's 3,000 billion trees covering our planet's land surfaces. To put this in perspective, if every person on Earth adopted 400 trees, we'd still have trees left over. There are more trees on our planet than there are cells in the human brain. There are more trees on Earth than seconds that have passed in the last 95,000 years. But here's the kicker. Our entire Milky Way galaxy, that massive cosmic structure that seems infinite when you look up at night, only contains between 100 to 400 billion stars. Even if we take the highest estimate of 400 billion stars, Earth still has about 7.5 times more trees than our galaxy has stars. It's like finding out your backyard vegetable garden has more tomatoes than there are cars in all of North America. The underdog completely demolishes the heavyweight champion in the most unexpected upset in cosmic history. And this isn't just some fluke with how we count things. Trees are individual living organisms, just like stars are individual celestial objects. We're comparing apples to apples, or in this case, trees to burning balls of gas. The diversity is mind-blowing too. Scientists estimate there are about 73,300 different tree species on Earth. That means our planet has more variety in trees than most countries have people. From tiny bonsai-like trees in the Arctic to massive sequoias that can live for thousands of years. From baobab trees that look like they're planted upside down to rainbow eucalyptus trees with multicolored bark. Some of these trees are absolute monsters. The General Sherman sequoia in California contains enough wood to build 40 houses. The Great Basin bristlecone pines are older than written history. Some have been growing for over 5,000 years, which means they were already ancient when the pyramids were built. And get this, trees come in shapes and sizes that would make alien designers jealous. There are trees that grow upside down in Madagascar, trees that bleed red sap in the Canary Islands, trees that grow other trees on their branches in India, and trees in Australia that have rainbow-colored bark that looks like a psychedelic painting. The tree count gets even more interesting when you break it down by location. South America alone contains about 43% of all tree species on Earth. That's more variety in one continent than most people can imagine. The Amazon rainforest, which everyone thinks of as being destroyed, still contains more trees than there are stars in several nearby galaxies combined. Russia, being the largest country on Earth, has the most individual trees, over 640 billion of them. That's more trees in one country than there are stars in our galaxy, even using the highest star estimates. Canada comes in second with about 318 billion trees, followed by Brazil with 302 billion. But here's the shocking part. Scientists estimate that about 9,000 tree species haven't even been discovered yet. We're still finding new types of trees in remote forests, mountain ranges, and unexplored regions. It's like finding out there are entire neighborhoods in your city that aren't on any map. Just in 2022, researchers discovered that there are likely 14% more tree species than we previously thought. They used statistical modeling to estimate that Earth probably has around 73,300 tree species total, with most of the undiscovered ones hiding in tropical forests. That's like finding out there are thousands more varieties of cars than anyone realized, except these cars have been driving around for millions of years. The really wild thing is that Earth used to have even more trees. Since the beginning of human civilization about 12,000 years ago, we've cut down roughly half of all the trees that ever existed. That means at one point, our planet had around 6 trillion trees, making our victory over the galaxy's star count even more decisive. And we're still discovering just how interconnected these trees are. Through underground fungal networks, trees actually communicate with each other, sharing nutrients and information across vast distances. It's like the entire forest is one giant organism with 3 trillion individual parts, all talking to each other through an underground internet made of mushrooms. These fungal networks can stretch for miles underground, connecting trees that are completely different species. A Douglas fir can literally send sugar to a paper birch tree through this network, and the birch can send nutrients back when the Douglas fir needs help. It's like nature invented socialism millions of years before humans even existed. Some forests have fungal networks that are thousands of years old and cover thousands of acres. The largest living organism on Earth isn't a whale or a sequoia. It's actually a fungal network in Oregon that covers 2,400 acres and has been growing for over 2,000 years. Today, scientists understand that Earth's tree dominance isn't just a fun fact. It's actually crucial for life as we know it. Those 3 trillion trees are working overtime as the planet's life support system, doing jobs that no star could ever do. Every single tree is a carbon-sucking, oxygen-producing machine. Collectively, they remove about 2.6 billion tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere every year, while pumping out the oxygen we breathe. It's like having 3 trillion tiny atmospheric processing plants scattered across the planet. But here's where things get concerning. We're cutting down about 15 billion trees every year. That's roughly 2,400 trees every minute. At that rate, we're losing trees faster than new ones can grow to replace them. It's like we're in a cosmic numbers game where we're voluntarily giving up points to the galaxy. To put that in perspective, we're cutting down trees at a rate of 40 football fields of forest every minute. That's an area the size of Switzerland disappearing every year. If we keep this up, we could actually lose our cosmic championship to the Milky Way, which would be the lamest way to lose a competition in the history of the universe. The good news is that people are starting to fight back. Countries like Canada have committed to planting 2 billion new trees by 2031. Organizations around the world are working on massive reforestation projects. Some scientists think we could actually increase Earth's tree count if we get serious about it. China has been planting about 1.6 billion trees per year through their massive reforestation programs. India once planted 66 million trees in a single day. That's more trees planted in 12 hours than some countries have. Total. It's like a global tree planting Olympics, and some countries are absolutely crushing it. And if this Tree vs. Stars competition has got you rooting for Team Earth, you might want to subscribe to Weirdly Brilliant. We've got more cosmic showdowns and surprising scientific battles coming your way. Modern technology is helping us understand just how amazing our tree advantage really is. Satellite imagery can now track individual trees across entire continents. We've discovered that trees don't just stand there looking pretty. They're actively changing weather patterns, creating their own rainfall, and even influencing cloud formation. The Amazon rainforest literally creates its own weather system. The trees release so much water vapor that they generate their own rain clouds, which then rain back down on the forest. It's like nature's own perpetual motion machine, except it actually works and has been running for millions of years. The fact that Earth beats the galaxy in this numbers game teaches us something important about perspective. We spend so much time feeling small and insignificant when we look up at the stars, but we're actually living on an incredibly special planet that's won at least one cosmic competition. Think about it. Stars are mostly empty space with nuclear reactions happening in their cores. They're impressive, but they're basically just really hot balls of gas floating in a vacuum. Trees, on the other hand, are complex living systems that create their own food from sunlight, regulate their own temperature, repair themselves when damaged, and reproduce to create more trees. Each tree is more sophisticated than most of the technology we've ever built. They've got internal plumbing systems, chemical factories, communication networks, and self-repair mechanisms that make our best computers look like pocket calculators. A single tree can process hundreds of gallons of water per day, manufacture its own food using nothing but sunlight and air, defend itself against insects and diseases, and even change its chemical composition based on the season. Try getting your smartphone to do any of that, and unlike stars, which just burn fuel until they die, trees actively make their environment better for other life forms. They create habitats for millions of species, prevent soil erosion, purify water, and moderate local temperatures. Stars might look pretty, but they're terrible roommates compared to trees. This tree versus star revelation also puts environmental conservation in a whole new perspective. We're not just protecting some plants. We're defending Earth's championship title in a cosmic numbers game. Every tree we plant is like adding another point to our score against the universe. When you plant a tree, you're not just helping the environment. You're participating in the greatest underdog victory story in cosmic history. You're helping a tiny blue planet maintain its dominance over an entire galaxy full of nuclear furnaces. That's way cooler than just being green. And the economic implications are huge too. Trees provide about $150 billion worth of benefits to the United States alone every year through air purification, carbon storage, and temperature regulation. That's like having 3 trillion unpaid employees working 24/7 to make our planet livable. The Tree vs. Galaxy showdown reveals something profound about how we perceive significance and scale. We automatically assume that bigger, more distant, and more dramatic things are more important or numerous. The vast cosmos feels infinite, while Earth feels finite and limited. But nature doesn't care about our assumptions. Sometimes the most abundant and important things are right under our noses, or in this case, literally growing all around us. We've been so busy looking up at the stars that we forgot to count what's growing at our feet. This also challenges our ideas about rarity and value. We think of stars as precious and infinite, but they're actually less numerous than trees in our local galactic neighborhood. Meanwhile, we treat trees as common and replaceable, even though they're doing the impossible work of keeping us alive and winning cosmic counting contests. It's a perfect example of how perspective shapes reality. From space, Earth looks like a tiny blue dot with nothing special about it. But zoom in close enough, and you discover that this tiny dot is absolutely packed with more life and complexity than entire galaxies full of burning gas ball. The tree victory also represents something beautiful about life itself. While the universe spends its time creating massive, dramatic, violent events like supernovas and black holes, life quietly goes about the business of multiplying, growing, and creating complexity. Trees don't make huge explosions or bend space-time, but they've managed to outnumber the galaxy's most dramatic performers. It's like the tortoise and the hare story, except the tortoise is 3 trillion trees and the hare is 400 billion nuclear furnaces. And somehow the tortoise won by just quietly growing in dirt for millions of years. This gives us a completely different way to think about our place in the universe. Instead of feeling insignificant next to the cosmic scale, we can feel proud to live on the planet that figured out how to create more complex living things than space has managed to create simple, burning things. So, are there more trees on Earth than stars in our galaxy? The answer is a resounding yes, and it's not even close. With 3 trillion trees versus 400 billion stars, Earth demolishes the Milky Way by a factor of 7 to 30. Our little blue planet has won the ultimate cosmic counting competition, and most of us never even knew we were playing. But here's the bigger picture. This incredible tree advantage didn't happen by accident. It's the result of billions of years of evolution creating the most sophisticated life support system in the known universe. Every tree is a testament to life's ability to not just survive, but to thrive and multiply in ways that put the rest of the cosmos to shame. The victory is even more impressive when you consider what trees are up against. Space has had billions of years and virtually unlimited resources to create stars. Meanwhile, trees have to grow in dirt, compete for water, survive storms, resist diseases, and deal with being constantly chopped down by humans. And they still manage to outnumber the galaxy. The next time you look up at the night sky and feel small, remember that you're standing on the ultimate champion. Earth didn't just get lucky. It earned its title by growing more complex, living, breathing organisms than the galaxy has nuclear furnaces. We're not just inhabitants of a cosmic speck. We're citizens of the most biodiverse, tree-rich planet in our local galactic neighborhood. And here's the responsibility that comes with that knowledge. We're the caretakers of the cosmic champion. Every tree we protect, every forest we save, every new seedling we plant is keeping Earth's winning streak alive. We're not just environmentalists, we're cosmic scorekeepers, making sure our planet stays ahead in the ultimate numbers game. Think about it this way. Somewhere out there might be aliens looking up at their night sky, seeing our sun as just another dim star among billions, never guessing that orbiting that ordinary star is a planet so packed with life that it contains more individual living trees than their entire galaxy has suns. What do you think? Are you proud to live on the tree capital of the galaxy, or shocked that space isn't as crowded as it seems? Let me know in the comments. And if this made you see both trees and stars in a completely new light, make sure to subscribe to Weirdly Brilliant. We're building a community of people who love discovering that the most amazing things in the universe might be growing right outside their window.